Okay, so if you're a business owner, a creator, or really anyone trying to build something online, you've probably noticed the ground is shifting beneath our feet. The way customers find you, the way they discover what you do, it's fundamentally changing. So today, we're going to break down the new marketing playbook for this age of AI.
And honestly, that is not an exaggeration. How your customers do their research, how they make decisions, and ultimately how they find you, it's completely different than it was just a year ago. Seriously, the old rules, they're gone. And it's all because of artificial intelligence. For the last 2 decades, the game was pretty simple. Get to the top of Google. Well, that game is over. What you're seeing here is the huge shift. You're no longer just fighting for a spot on a page. You're now competing to become the answer that an AI gives someone. And that means you have to move way beyond stuffing keywords into a blog post. Now it's all about answering real human questions and creating these amazing digital assets that work for you 24/7. And look, this isn't some trend that's 5 years away. The speed of this change is just staggering. Right after ChatGPT launched, traffic from generative AI tools to retail websites exploded by 1,300%. And get this, it just kept doubling every few months after that. This isn't on the horizon, it's already here right now.
But here's the thing. Whenever there's this kind of massive disruption, it always creates massive opportunity. This is a genuine gold rush for anyone who's paying attention. So what does this new playbook actually look like? What are the new rules of the game we're all playing? Everything, and I mean everything, starts with the absolute foundation, your core. This is all about getting crystal clear on what it is you sell, and maybe even more importantly, who you sell it to. In this new landscape, this part is completely non-negotiable. You've probably heard this marketing quote before, but man, it has never been more true than it is today. When your message is designed for everyone, it ends up resonating with no one. It just becomes bland, generic, and totally invisible. Personalization isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It's the baseline.
So how do you get that specific? You have to understand your audience with some deep empathy. There's this fantastic framework called Miseries and Miracles that is perfect for this. On one side, you map out all their pains, their fears, their frustrations, their miseries. And on the other side, you map out their wants, their dreams, their goals, their miracles. Your entire marketing job is to build a bridge between those two things.
Let me give you a perfect real-world example of this. When Pinterest first launched, it was a fantastic product, but it just wasn't growing. The idea was great, but the idea alone wasn't enough to get any real traction. So what did the founder Ben Silbermann do? He stopped trying to appeal to everybody. He went to this one conference in Utah and focused on a single super passionate tribe, crafters and designers. And they got it instantly. That small, focused, enthusiastic group became the spark that led to Pinterest's explosive growth.
Okay, so once you've nailed down your core offer and your audience, you need an engine to actually reach them. And that engine is your content and the channels you use to get it out there.
And this is why you really can't just be in one place anymore. The data is it's crystal clear. Using 3 or more channels drives purchase and engagement rates that are 250% higher than single-channel campaigns. You have to be connected everywhere your audience is actually spending their time. But it's not just about being everywhere, right? You can't just spam the same message across all channels. The real secret is mapping your content to where your customer is in their journey. So for someone who's just becoming aware they have a problem, they need educational content. For someone who's considering their options, they need deeper stuff, like case studies. And for someone who's ready to decide, that's when you hit them with testimonials and demos. It's all about the right information at the right time.
This brings us to our third pillar, your system. This is where you go from just hoping for sales to building a predictable, repeatable journey that turns complete strangers into happy customers. This is the power of a real marketing funnel. But unfortunately, most businesses don't actually have a funnel. They have what I like to call a marketing plate. They just dump all their traffic onto one single page, like their homepage, and it just creates total confusion. And you have to remember this: a confused customer never, ever buys. A funnel, on the other hand, gives them a clear, guided path from one step to the next. So, how do you actually build one of these things? The best advice I've ever heard is to reverse engineer it. Seriously, start at the very end, the sale. Then ask, what has to happen right before that? Okay, they visit a sales page, and before that, they have to click a link in an email. You literally work your way backward, mapping out the entire process. Once you see it all laid out, it becomes super easy to spot where the leaks are and fix them.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds like a ton of work, especially if you're a solopreneur or a small team. But this is where AI completely changes the game. It's not just transforming the customer's journey, it's transforming how you operate. AI is your new teammate.
If you're a creator or a solopreneur, you are probably living what's called the creator's paradox. And it's this: you spend a staggering 73% of your time on administrative busy work, not on the creative, strategic work that actually grows your business. Well, this is how you break out of that paradox. AI is the great equalizer. It automates all that tedious work, giving one person the leverage of what used to be an entire team. In the age of AI, the bottleneck isn't execution anymore, it's strategy. Your job shifts from being the doer to being the thinker.
And we're talking about real, tangible tasks here. Your new AI teammate can draft your blog posts and emails, set up 24/7 customer service chatbots, turn one long video into dozens of short social clips, generate stunning graphics. It can even manage your schedule. It automates the doing, so you can finally focus on the thinking.
All right, this brings us to the final crucial piece of the playbook, because this is not a set it and forget it kind of deal. True long-term success comes from creating a feedback loop, so you're always improving.
You need to get into a rhythm of review, so every week you do a quick check on your key metrics for small tactical tweaks. Every month, you do a deeper dive to spot any emerging patterns or trends, and then every quarter you step way back to evaluate your whole strategy against your big goals. This is how you start making data-driven decisions instead of just guessing.
So at the end of the day, the goal isn't a one-hit wonder or a single viral campaign. The real goal is to build a marketing engine, one that learns, adapts, and actually gets smarter and more effective over time.
Look, the playing field has been completely leveled. The rules have been totally rewritten, and you have this incredibly powerful AI teammate ready to go to work for you. The playbook is in your hands, so the only question left is, what are you going to build with?